to infinity and beyond.
Hello everybody, it's Roger James here from DisKingdom.com, and in this episode we're going to be discussing E3 predictions for Star Wars video games, which I think are going to be very, very easy to guess because they've kind of announced a little bit. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is the big game that we're going to see from EA. But we'll go into that a little bit more. But have you got any other ideas, James?
We do know there's another couple of Star Wars games in the pipeline that don't have names, but we might have like broad general ideas. It's entirely possible we might learn some more details about that, like the director who worked on the Uncharted games. She might have some more details about that, but
she just tended to pop up in all the different events, kind of going, "We're doing something, but I can't tell you anything." So yeah,
it's cool. We know it's cool, but we can't tell you.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of like what else they could do. Would we get a new pin? But like for last, like
I mean, yeah, that'd probably be
Lego maybe.
It would be nice, maybe a Last Jedi Lego, but I suspect we probably won't hear about that until after the movie comes out, kind of like we didn't for The Force Awakens. And I'm kind of hoping if there is a Lego Star Wars announcement, maybe it'll be a remaster of the original Lego with, episode or Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars tossed in there, and then maybe on top of that they could stick some Rogue One content in there.
The only reason I'm wondering that might not happen is they did literally for Xbox Games with Go this month give everyone the saga, which is a bit like basically going anyone on Xbox One has got it. So whether or not they've remastered it for PlayStation 4 would be a bit like, okay, all the guys on Xbox One, they can all have the old copy, but we're going to make a primary copy, but PlayStation owners have to buy it. But also Switch owners can buy it as well. But I don't know whether or not it wouldn't surprise me. I mean, I don't know if we'd get a Rogue One game, but it depends really on... The problem, obviously, is whether or not there was any plans to do, like, Lego Dimensions content or anything like that they might have flipped over. But personally, wondering if we might just get a Last Jedi game next year. But Lego, I think there could be a possibility something that we could hear anything, maybe some re-releases like they did before, because they did it last time with Battlefront. They kind of revealed they released 4 old games at the same time.
Yeah, I think like Jedi Starfighter and games like that. Yeah, the old PlayStation ones.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we had something similar, or if they announced Nintendo did their like virtual console, whether or not we started getting Super Star Wars and Return of the Jedi and all those kind of games. I wouldn't be at all surprised. I don't think we're going to hear of any other AAA games other than Star Wars Battlefront 2, which is going to be the main focus.
No, I think it'll be Battlefront 2, and then maybe a couple of allusions to the ones that are already in progress, like we've already heard. But I suspect, if they really want to reveal those, it'll probably be closer to D23, because that's the Disney thing, and most of the Star Wars actors and actresses will probably be there.
Yeah, the one issue for me is that element of this year's about Star Wars Battlefront 2. They don't want to distract too much from that, and that's gonna, EA are going to be putting all, they said literally this week that they have the Star Wars Battlefront 2's got 3 times more content than the original, which is like, well, if you just put the original and put double it, that's, there's going to be a lot.
It's still not much.
No. There's definitely going to be, I think, a lot, there's going to be on demos, so people are going to see it. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of Star Wars Battlefront information. But it's that kind of thing of like, it's like mobile stuff. I can't see that being kind of shown off too much at that point.
Again, I think mobile would be more at home at D23. And actually, of all of their franchises, Star Wars already has almost all of the various mobile styles already represented. You've got, the PvP game. You've got actually 2 PvP games. You've got the RPG game. You've got them appearing in Disney so they've at least got the puzzle game. Droids, they've got the Candy Crush game. There's not really all that other many areas they could go. They used to have what was it, Underworld, something, which was like a true RPG, but that didn't do so well.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways it's like an odd thing of like, we've not really had like that thing of Lego Star Wars has kind of given us the only real way of like playing through as characters, because we've not really had that for a while, where you actually right, you have to, that kind of Force Unleashed kind of story mode where, whether or not we see, some more content from Star Wars: The Old Republic, where, could we see a console version announced? I don't know. It's very difficult.
You know what I would actually really like is if they had a game. It doesn't have to be AAA, but a game starring the Rebels, the Star Wars Rebel team. Sabine and Kanan and Hera and all them, because they appeared in Infinity, but they didn't have a play set. So that would be something, and especially with the final season coming out, it would be a good time to kind of capitalize on that. Will we? Will they do something like that? Yeah, probably not, but it'd be great.
I mean, I've been sort of hearing rumors of maybe Xbox are going to go down the line with this new Project Scorpio of being like a Steam machine for Windows kind of thing. It's basically just a Windows PC. Now, if it went like that way, like the Old Republic could come over to Xbox a lot easier because it could be done. But obviously, as we've seen with Marvel Heroes, you need the different control mechanism to be changed for consoles, which start. But you can't help but look at this like massive franchise and think, they could make some more money going out to a different console market. And I think they had their 5th anniversary last year, so it's in their 5th, 6th year. It really depends on that. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw some new trailers or some new information about new chapters and stuff added to that game as well.
Honestly, and I wouldn't expect it this year, but within the next couple of years, we'll probably actually see a replacement for the Old Republic. I mean, it's a replacement for the original Star Wars MMO, but this game is no longer in canon. It's part of the old continuity. It wouldn't surprise me if they wanted to get something in the new continuity, maybe do something that takes place between episodes 6 and 7, because there's 40 years there.
Yeah.
That has almost been completely untouched, minus like a little bit right after Return of the Jedi and right before Force Awakens, but very little in that 40-year space.
And also, kind of that MMO, it's not really tying in with what you might call like events. They can't link in. Oh, look, there's a new Last Jedi content that we can sell to you guys. Because when Knights of the Old Republic or the Old Republic got created, events weren't really part of video games at the time, so they hadn't really planned like for the way they do tie-ins like now, like with the Marvel movies and stuff. Whether or not we see anything announced on that, I don't know. It might, like I said, it could just primarily focus on Star Wars Battlefront. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw some updates and some content to it. But it'd be nice to, is that kind of thing. If we just want more, we just want more Star Wars.
You know what? You stick Star Wars on the label, and I will definitely at least pay attention.
Yeah.
We just need something, because Battlefront 2 is still a ways off, and then what that means is our last 2 Star Wars releases were Battlefront and Battlefront 2, and 1 or 2 Disney play sets that were half baked at best. Not their fault, but so.
Yeah, it definitely. It's like in the one way, like one major Star Wars game a year is great because it means it's done properly, but also it's like a thing as well of like different kinds of games like that. Like I know obviously like we've talked about the game that the one was it Amy that did Uncharted. They're working on more of an adventure game. For me, those are the kind of games I love. Having just put 70, 80 hours into Zelda and now just working my way through Uncharted 4, I like that style of game. Whereas Battlefront 2 is great to jump in and out of, but it's a shooting. It's a different, and like we said with mobile, there's nothing really of that kind. So hopefully, we look at like what's going on with Marvel. They've got different aspects of different styles. Star Wars doesn't really have that so much at the moment.
No, and you know what? This is what I'm thinking. Injustice 2 is coming out this week. We've got Marvel vs. Capcom. This is the perfect time for them to revive Masters of Kasai, the excellent and perfect Star Wars fighting game from the original PlayStation. Yeah. There were no problems with that game. No. None at all. I can't keep a straight face.
It could be a 2019 game. They definitely could do something. But I think definitely, in some ways, it feels like I'm not expecting a lot of surprises for this one.
No. And if there are going to be surprises, it'll be at D23. I mean, this is the problem with talking about E3 and Disney. It's like they want to save their biggest guns for the big Disney fans at D23, and they don't want them to get overwhelmed by announcements of the new Assassin's Creed or the new whatever, Call of Duty World War II.
The thing is, well, like E3 is such a big explosion of stuff coming through that it's easy to get lost in it. But also, I always think of E3 as more about telling you what's coming up for this holiday season. That's what it's all about, getting everyone excited for the next 6 months, because they'll use the other events to kind of get ready for, while like February and March has become a hot season for video games, they don't like to go too much beyond Christmas, it seems, for most announcements.
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, because if you announce stuff for February or March, then you kind of neuter Christmas, because like, well, you can get, Battlefront 2 for Christmas, or you can wait and get Lego Star Wars The Last Jedi in March or April.
Yeah, I think they tend to aim at different audiences, but generally, it's I don't know, it's definitely an odd thing. But we'd love to know your thoughts on what you guys maybe are thinking or hoping you're going to see from the Star Wars side at E3. You can always comment below or get in touch with us on all the different social medias. And on that note, you can find us on all the different video and audio platforms, and also you can find us over at DisKingdom.com. Again, thanks for James for joining me, and we shall see you guys soon. Later.